Well, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Jamie McCracken. I really appreciate you coming out to the channel, checking out the new video, and today I am in northern Alabama. It's a state I haven't done much exploring in, so I'm really excited to be in a different state, out in the backcountry, and I'm doing a trail called the Walls of Jericho. It's about a 6 to 8 mile hike, depending on the beta you look at. Not really sure how much exactly, but the first few miles to get down into the walls is pretty much just downhill or flat. So not a lot of treacherous terrain that we're gonna be dealing with getting out, down there. But to come back out, we're gonna have to come back the way we are going in. And it's a couple thousand feet of elevation in total that we'll be doing today once we get back out of here. So really excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The trail is well marked. It's with these red blazes, and for now I'm on pretty stable ground and excited to be back out in the backcountry after about a month off since that last video you saw, which was in the Smoky Mountains, my 3-day backpacking trip out there. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's do this. Walls of Jericho. I'm excited. Now, the big payoff of this hike, of course, is the Walls of Jericho, and it's where there's going to be a lot of waterfalls and a lot of water just shooting out from underneath the rocks. Not sure how much water we're going to get. It did rain here last night, and the trail is pretty wet, so I'm thinking we're going to get a good bit of water down here at the Walls of Jericho. It is a beautiful day, by the way. It's like 62 degrees, and I'm just wearing this long sleeve dry fit Nike shirt. And yeah, it's a beautiful day. I'm loving this so far. Okay, I've made it down to this junction where I'm going to turn left. This is the Hurricane Mill Creek right here. You'll see a sign behind me that says Alabama Trailhead. And the reason why it says Alabama Trailhead is because that is where I started. That's where I parked my car. You can park your car on the side of Tennessee. There's a really small lot over there as well. Much bigger lot on the Alabama side. So there's 3 or 4 cars in the parking lot when I came here. But just know that you can come in from either way. And over here, I did want to show you before I continued on the trail, there is a backcountry site. And so if you did want to make this an overnight stay, you could do that, which is pretty cool. I think I've been hiking for, let's see, maybe 2.5 miles. Yeah, 2.8 miles so far. So we're almost to, as my trekking pole falls. We're almost to the Wall of Jericho, but just wanted to check in and tell you that this has been a wonderful hike so far. It's been all downhill, so we got quite the trek to get back up to the car later. But for now, it's going to be hiking along this beautiful creek. All right, second and final bridge crossing before we get to the Walls of Jericho. And just to note, this is no longer Hurricane Mill. This is actually called the Turkey Creek, so not the Hurricane Mill Creek, and that runs down into the Hurricane Mill. But beautifully built bridges, by the way, out here. Usually don't see this in a backcountry hike, but really, really nice. Also, there was another backcountry campsite over there as well. Not as nice as that first one I showed you earlier, but look at this. You got little views of the mountains. I mean, it's like 65 degrees. Loving it. All right, let's continue up. We got about, I think, a half mile until we get to the Walls of Jericho. I can hear the water roaring. Right, you see the sign, half mile to the Walls of Jericho. If you turn left over here, by the way, check this out. 2 more primitive backcountry sites. Looks like they're together over here. But really, as I look at these, this is a great opportunity. If you've never camped, this might be a great place to start. I mean, it's like a 3-mile hike down in here. These sites are really nice. Good flat ground. You got fire pits. So just a note if you ever wanted to check that out. Okay, I made it down here to the Walls of Jericho. Over there is a big old waterfall. Now the question is how I get across this. So I'm just kind of moseying around to figure out a way to get across. There's also all this water kind of dripping from the cliffs. Woo-hoo-hoo! Got across, basically, by just holding the trekking poles in the camera. All right, made it across. That was awesome. Oh, now we get to the trek up to the waterfalls. Wow, this is awesome. So this is the Walls of Jericho. I'm headed up to the cave right now to get a closer look of the waterfall just kind of coming out of the rocks. It was about a 4.8 mile hike, so the beta was off. I mean, All Trail says it's like a 6.5 mile total hike, but we're gonna look at about 8 to 9 miles, maybe even 10 today, depending on how much I go back and forth and kind of roam around here for a little bit. But wow, this is incredible, super worth it, but just know, it's quite a trek to get out here, especially that last half mile to the Walls of Jericho. All right, I made it back here to the cave. And I mean, just look at this water. It's like coming out of the rocks. That is so cool. See how far we can get back up in here without slipping. It's quite a fall. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh man, wow. Water's just shooting out of the rock right there. Okay, I made my way above all the waterfalls down there, did some climbing and boulder scrambling, and I came over here because this is the most epic spot, if there is a waterfall. And unfortunately, you can probably hear my voice, it's echoing, because while there is water down in there, the waterfall that comes out the side right here is not flowing. So, kind of a bummer, but still a really, really cool spot. Absolutely nobody out here. And I had to come back because I really would love to see the waterfall in this little cave canyon area. It's just a dead end. So, still really cool and glad to come up here and at least check it out. That was my number one thing. I was like, I'm gonna at least check to see if there's water flowing. You can tell there's a little bit of dripping, but not much at all. Okay, I've made it out from the waterfalls back at the wall. All right, I'm on my way back from the Wall of Jericho. And wow, it definitely exceeded my expectations. Of course, the cave waterfall that I really wanted to see wasn't flowing, so I'm not gonna give the experience a 10 out of 10, but I'll give it a 9.5. It was a lot of fun. The water's like really flowing. You can see down there, tons of waterfalls. And this half-mile section to get out to the Wall of Jericho, it's the best. I mean, you just got single track, big drop-offs, a little treacherous at times, but I really hope you guys enjoyed it. A couple notes as I make my way out of the Wall of Jericho. 1 is the time it took, and 2 is the mileage, and then 3 is just a simple tip. I would say 1, the time it took about 2 hours and 15 minutes to get out there. I was hiking at a pretty good clip, but you know, it wasn't too bad. It was mostly downhill. Number 2, the beta on this trail is way off. So they say that this is an out and back trail that's about 6.5 miles. Well, I gotta tell you, it took me about 4.8, so basically 5 miles to get out to the Wall of Jericho. So, what does that mean? This is more like a 9 to 10 mile complete hike. And then number 3, bring these things. Bring you some trekking poles, because in this section right here, you're gonna deal with a lot of this stuff. Roots, climbing over trees, rocks, and the rocks are not just rocks, they're pretty slippery rocks. So this reminds me a lot of the Fiery Gizzard Trail, if you have watched that video when I did the backpacking trip out there just a few months ago. But it's pretty slippery, especially when you're crossing the creek and we're climbing up in the waterfalls. It is slippery. So trekking poles will help. Just have some good grip shoes, all that. But these are my tips if you're gonna come out to do the Wall of Jericho hike. So I'm gonna make my way out of this treacherous part and then hopefully do some trail running for the 2,000 feet of elevation gain and climb that we have to get back up to the car. So I'll catch you then. All right, how about a little trail run montage to get back up to the car? Let's go. Made it back to the parking lot. Wow, fun day here at the Walls of Jericho. We'll walk over here to the car, give you the final stats, and a good old sign off here on this video. Okay, I am back up at the car here in the parking lot. There's a couple cars, trucks here, some other day hikers, but wow, that was a lot of fun. I want to go over the final stats here at the Walls of Jericho for the day. It was a total of 8.7 miles. I did an elevation gain of 1,480 feet, and I did this in just under 3.5 hours, 3 hours, 28 minutes. So a lot of fun. The beta is off. It's not a 6-mile hike. It's more closer toward a 7, 8, 9 mile hike, depending on how far you go up into the canyon like I did. I kind of went all the way. So you're looking at about a 9-mile day total if you want to go up and into the waterfalls. But a lot of fun here in northern Alabama. I wanted to say also, when you actually get to the Walls of Jericho, you're actually in the state of Tennessee. So you do cross the border, and then when you make that like half-mile trek back out where the cemetery was, you're back in Alabama. So it's really strange. You can also do this hike from the Tennessee side. I think I mentioned this earlier, but if I didn't, there's a small parking lot. And so I think it'd be a really good place to, kind of do the Alabama side, do the Tennessee side, come up and do the South Rim. There's a lot of other exploration to be done here, so maybe I'll get back out here and do a little backpacking trip. I really hope you enjoyed the adventure today, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Peace.